not much and not much. A black hole the mass of the moon would have an event horizon about the size of a sand grain. Specifically, according to one of my favorite charts, a black hole moon would be a grain of fine to medium fine sand and could pass through a sieve of size ASTM number 70 or larger. I mean, I guess a black hole with the mass of the moon would pass right through any sieve, destroying the process. But that's neither here nor there. One, since the moon's mass and position wouldn't change, the tides on Earth wouldn't change either. When you're floating outside a spherical mass, its pull on you is the same regardless of whether the mass is concentrated at the center of the sphere or spread out throughout it. If the sun were replaced by a black hole of the same mass, the Earth's orbit wouldn't change, although life on Earth might. With the moon gathered into a point, there'd be no moonlight, which would affect the life cycles of all kinds of nocturnal animals. But compared to a lot of the other things we've done, that would be fairly minor. The Earth's orbit is stabilized by the moon, but the lunar mass black hole would probably serve the same role. This black hole moon would be pretty low profile. If it were much smaller, it would evaporate through Hawking radiation. But a black hole the size of the moon actually absorbs more energy from the cosmic background radiation than it emits through the Hawking mechanism. Our black hole would really be black. At least, if it didn't eat anything. If the black hole devoured any objects, it would let off a tremendous blast of radiation. Black holes burn brightly as they devour things. The whirlpool of matter heats up as it falls inward, causing it to glow brightly. 2. Fortunately, there's not a lot out there for it to eat, so it wouldn't glow very brightly for now. It would spend most of its time drastically altering the orbits of nearby dust particles, one sand grain pushing other sand grains around. 3. But there would be one interesting effect. In addition to getting darker, Earth would get colder because moonlight warms the Earth. It's a very tiny contributor to our global energy balance. The moon is 5 or 6 orders of magnitude dimmer than the sun. But it's there. Measurements show that global temperature varies with a 28-day cycle. All else being equal, the Earth is hottest during the full moon. It's a tiny difference, small fractions of degree, but it's there. But it turns out most of this effect is not due to moonlight. The largest contributor is the fact that the Earth is slightly closer to the sun during a full moon. Calculating the amount of energy radiated back to Earth by the moon is deceptively tricky. The moon reflects sunlight, but with some surprising twists. When the moon is half illuminated, you might think it would be half as bright as when full, but it's much less bright than that. And once you account for that, there are even trickier effects to deal with, because science is the worst. For then, on top of all the weird visible light effects, the moon also heats up under the sun, then radiates that heat as infrared light. There's a great discussion of the moon's effect on the Earth's energy budget in this article by Robert Knox. The upshot is that the moon's infrared heat radiation turns out to affect Earth's temperature about 10 times more than the visible moonlight, but still about 10 times less than the effect from gravity moving Earth closer and farther from the sun. Knox even quantifies the effect this has on Earth's radiation balance. The presence of infrared moonlight warms the planet by 1.2 millidegrees Fahrenheit, m°F. Without moonlight, the planet would cool down slightly. But given the accelerating rate at which we're adding CO2 to the atmosphere, which changes the Earth's energy balance, we'd make up the difference in a couple of weeks. So all in all, the conversion of the moon to a black hole might not even be that big of a deal. Unless, of course, it happened on certain days between 1969 and 1972, in which case Nixon would have needed yet another one of those speeches.